Yo, what up? What up? What's happening? What's happening? Shout out to the homies. Never Scared Lifestyle is checking out their live right now. So shout out to Never Scared Lifestyle checking out their live on TikTok because I was trying to figure out how to go live on TikTok also. What's happening, everybody? I was trying to go live on TikTok. I couldn't figure the shit out. I was just about to do it right now. But shout out to Never Scared Lifestyle. Let me see. Threaded Headwear, what's going down? I see you've been knocking out them the cherry blossom hats, man. Good for you. Let me see. Leadership Matters. J Star, what's happening? I think that says Moses or something like that. Something same street, what's happening? Diz, what up? I got my photos 90745. Carson checking in. What's happening? Kathleen, what's going down? What's your opinion on brick vinyl? I think brick vinyl's dope, man. I never really had a big use for it for my customers. My customers really wasn't into it, like on t-shirts and shit like that. I did it on some like on fleece. I did it on some crew neck sweaters. I did it on some sweat shorts. But that's kind of where the only applications I used it for. It wasn't anything crazy, but that's what it was. Um, I don't think it's those specialty vinyls are dope because they kind of give a different texture to the print. Puff vinyl, flock, foil metallics, brick, stuff like that. It works because it gives it a different texture, which is cool. You know what I mean? All right, let me try to get this TikTok live set up. See if we could get on here. I've never done it before. I can't figure this shit out, man. Trying to figure this shit out. What size platen would you recommend for Richardson 112? I don't embroider on any Richardson hats because I've never had good luck with it. For one, two, none of my customers wear Richardson hats. If that's what you're asking about. So for me, I only use when we're talking about pressing on hats, I use the Yupong cotton polyfront truckers. I use a bunch of different AS color hats. I use some of the auto cotton poly hats, but that's about it. Richardson, I never really have good luck stitching on them. My customers don't like wearing them, so I rarely use the Richardsons. And then trying to embroider on Richardsons is hard work also. Um, I did my first live yesterday for my business. I did so bad. Hey man, we all do bad. Like I used to live stream from my car on my lunch breaks, and yeah, it was a work in progress trying to get it going and just trying to like understand how to talk to the camera, answer questions at the same time. It's a mess. But the more you do it, the better it is. Like I'm trying to, like you see me, I'm trying to figure out TikTok live right now. I couldn't figure the shit out on how to get it going. Um, so yeah, I need to just figure that part out on how to live stream, and then that way I could live stream at the same exact time, doing this live on YouTube and doing it on TikTok at the same exact time. For some reason, a lot of people always ask me to go live on TikTok and they can't tune into the YouTube version or they can't tune into YouTube to watch live streams for whatever reason. I also had a conversation with uh, another content creator that was telling me about because we're talking about having like notifications turned on and off and stuff like that, and a lot of people not seeing new video posts and stuff. And he said that he had to go into, like, say if he's like subscribed to somebody and he's has the notifications turned on, he had to go into like the notifications tab and turn off like personalized notifications and like notifications for everybody or whatever it was. He said it was like some kind of update or something. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not subscribed to a lot of people. I don't have notifications turned on for a lot of people, so I don't know how that part works. But we're talking about that. So if you're not seeing my videos or you're not seeing my lives or anything like that, it might be something in the notifications that you got to turn on or off. Um, you need 10K followers, I believe. If you're talking about TikTok, um, I think I have that. I think I meet the threshold for all the stuff. I just don't know how to turn the shit on. Every time I go to the little live button, I'm guessing that's where it's at. It puts me into like other lives and all kind of other shit going on. So I just got to sit down and mess with it, I think. What's happening from LA? Are you familiar with putting words on leathers? I'm not familiar with putting words on leathers. I rarely work with leather, with the embroidery machine, with pressing and anything like that. I rarely use leathers. I see a lot of people with leather engravers or leather engravers, laser engravers. I see people doing like a lot of leather work, burning with lasers. I don't have one of those, so I'm not that familiar with working with leather. Let's say I want to start a t-shirt brand tomorrow. What do I buy tomorrow? Buy a heat press. Buy a heat press tomorrow. You'll be good to go. You could buy DTF transfers from any DTF printer out there, whoever is local to you, closest to you. That way you could get them in hand the fastest way possible. Get some blank t-shirts and you're off and running. Outside of that, if you wanted to, you could get a vinyl cutter and some vinyl. That way you can make whatever you want at home for pretty cheap. If you wanted to go that route, if you didn't want to go that route, buy a heat press, blank t-shirts, DTF transfers, start selling t-shirts. Facts. How do I get more interactions? It's consistency. It's really just the more you do it, the better off you'll be. It's a numbers game. Um, a lot of what I don't know too much about live streaming. When I do lives, I only answer questions. I never live stream when I'm like working. I tried it before. It's hard to like cater to the camera and do my work at the same time, because when I live stream, I'm basically answering questions. So I'm probably like the worst person to ask about how to like live stream for profit or for growth. I use my live stream like this, what I'm doing right now, just to answer questions because I know there's a lot of people that watch my videos that have questions and sometimes they don't want to leave it in the comments or sometimes it's easier to just ask right here. So uh, makes it easier that way. But as far as like trying to get more growth out of live streaming, I think it's a numbers game, just consistency and kind of like uh staying on topic with whatever you're talking about. So then that way that crowd starts to like tune in and see what the hell you got going on. And then I think this is what I noticed is once I started live streaming every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, once I put myself on a schedule, it got a little bit easier. I know we're a little earlier. I usually set up earlier. I jumped on early because I had every intention on also live streaming on TikTok also, but just couldn't figure the shit out in time. So, but yeah, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is when I live stream. And I noticed once I put myself on a schedule, it made it easier for people to tune in and watch because they anticipated the live stream to happen. So maybe you could do that, put yourself on a schedule. So then that way people that are like into your content will start watching you, you know, now I don't want to say religiously, but they'll anticipate like, oh man, it's, Wednesday at this time or Monday at this time. This person's going to be live streaming. I'll tune in. But I noticed that's what I started doing was once I put myself on this type of schedule. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is when I drop new videos on my YouTube channel. Um, I put up short form content every single day across all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube shorts. Um, I put up that short form content every single day. Um, and then live stream on Tuesdays at 7. I put up videos, uh, long form videos Mondays at 11. So once you put yourself on a schedule, I think it gives the viewer a chance to anticipate when they could receive new content from you or you're going to live stream or whatever. Try that out. McLogan's closes too early for me to get there after work. Do you know another LA supply spot that's open later or maybe Sundays? All the spots. I think you're talking about buying vinyl. I have no idea. McLogan was my spot. I was using Printer Supply Warehouse when they were in Long Beach, and then they ended up closing down. So yeah, McLogan is my only like go-to spot to like pick up vinyl if I needed to on a pinch. I hate paying for shipping. Yeah, I hate paying for shipping too. Um, yeah, whenever I needed like specialty colors, like right away for like certain jobs, McLogan used to be my spot. Um, but I get you, like going to downtown. I know they have one in Santa Ana too. I think no, Orange County. Maybe it's Anaheim, Santa Ana, or somewhere in Orange County. They have another spot. I don't know if that one's open on Sundays. It might. It's worth looking into. Online orders have been cool. I'm also hitting the streets with a 6 pack of pre-made every day since the win. That's been the move, man. That was my move. I've been taking these hats everywhere with me to sell them in person also. And these things pack up easy, throw them in there and just get out in the streets. So threaded headwear, that's a dope move, man, especially with the win, especially how like on fire the city is right now. Making money has never been easier if you're in Los Angeles and you're making, LA shit, Dodger shit, back to back shit, whatever you want to call it. That it's a feeding frenzy right now. And it's cool. Like everybody's supporting everybody and it's all love, man. So like I said, man, like these hats been moving like crazy for me. So for myself, I'm a consumer also. So like when Undefeated drops LA hats, obviously I'm buying them. Born and Raised dropping hats, I'm buying them. Like I'm a consumer also for like LA Dodgers shit also, but making my own shit and taking it around to sell has been dumb easy. But that's good if you keep, like I said, keep 6, 10 hats on you, man. You can make easy money. What's the best marketing strategy? Utilizing social media like a motherfucker. Like you really have to lay into social media. You can't just post once a week and expect shit to happen. Like you really got to be on top of your shit. And social media makes it so easy for you to just create and share. So try to get into the habit of creating content. Like I'll show you this right now on my phone. I record videos a lot. Like this is a little folder I have in my phone called Ready to Upload. This is just all short form content. There's like 25 videos right there that were just recorded. These bottom 10 videos right here was just from an hour and a half in my shop, pressing shirts, embroidering hats, and that's it. These golfing videos are from the same exact day. Within less than an hour, I was able to create those. Same thing with these golf videos. These ones right here is just me pressing shirts, bagging up orders, stuff like that. It makes it so easy to create the content and capture the content, but you have to build up the habit. You have to understand what you're doing it for, right? So if you can wrap your head around filming yourself doing shit all the time, and actually like recording it, editing it down, getting it ready to upload, it makes posting content that much easier. I don't make any videos of me like with like product shots of just like this hat and then just say like buy this hat. Like I don't make any content like that. The content that you see of me showing off this hat is probably like small video clips of this hat, black one, the white one, me making this hat. A lot of the content that I do is me making the shit and people see me making it. That's what drives the sales for myself. You could do the same exact thing. You could um, show yourself making something. You could show yourself designing something, cutting transfers, anything. You could show yourself doing all kind of crazy shit around what you're trying to sell, and then that content will live forever on the internet, and then eventually people just watch it. Like, I started posting on Facebook probably a couple months ago, around the same time that I started live streaming on here. And I think I was at like 400 followers or something like that. Like, followers didn't matter. Followers still don't really matter. Um, but the traction and the sales that I make off of Facebook is unreal. And I'm posting the same videos that I post on my Instagram. I'm posting those on Facebook also, and it's just hitting a different audience, older audience. Like, when I look at the analytics, it's like older people that are watching those videos, but they're buying, and that's all I care about is the conversion, right? Like, you're really just trying to post for the transactions. So that's usually what I'm doing. And shit's working, you know what I mean? And all I'm doing is showing myself boxing up orders. You guys see my short form content. It's nothing crazy. It's the same shit over and over every week. It doesn't change. I thought for the longest time my life is pretty boring because I do the same things, right? I go to my regular job. I'm at Disneyland with my family. I'm at the brewery drinking beers. I'm in the shop pressing shirts, bagging up shirts, shipping out shirts, embroidering hats. So I was like, man, if I started making like daily content, it'll be kind of boring because I'm doing the same exact things every single day. But I noticed that people don't watch short form content like in chronological order. It's just landing in their feeds, right? So maybe I post a video of me bagging up a order today, and then tomorrow I post a video of me bagging up orders all over again. But it's a different set of viewers. Like, my own followers aren't really watching those videos. It's like new randoms that are watching the videos. So you have to like really play into that shit of just, if you're pressing shirts every day, post yourself pressing shirts every day. If you're embroidering hats every day, post yourself embroidering those hats every day, because you don't know who's watching and when they're watching. So as long as you just keep the content rolling, you start to land in people's feeds of people that are interested in the shit you're posting. So it really just comes down to numbers. Like, get into the habit of capturing the content, filming yourself doing shit, and then get into the habit of just posting it just to post. Don't beat yourself up if your shit don't look polished up. Don't beat yourself up if like your shit doesn't look like your favorite content creators. It doesn't have to look the same. Like, make the shit look authentic to you. You post the shit, get the shit rolling, like, get into the habit of doing it. And I'm not just saying like one video a week and you're gonna, business is gonna boom. It's a numbers game. Like, just post as much as you can, and you could get a ton of pieces of content off of like doing one t-shirt. Like, you could literally set up your phone. Let's say you're cutting some vinyl, like you're gonna do one t-shirt with vinyl. You could show yourself feeding the vinyl into the vinyl cutter. That's one piece of content. You could show the vinyl cutter cutting. That's another piece of content. You could show yourself weeding up the vinyl in a time lapse. That's another piece of content. And you haven't even pressed the t-shirt yet. Like, you could get so much. Like I said, like, my golf videos, I'm only at the range for like less than an hour, and I could get 7, 8 small little 30-second, 1-minute clips out of that hour, and I could post for the whole week off of just one time going to the range to hit golf balls. And then same exact thing goes for like me in the shop. If I have a ton of orders, like when we're doing the Dodger stuff, like these hats and stuff like that, shit's booming. So I don't have time to set the camera up. I take that back. I have time to. I just don't think about it because I'm like, I got to get all these orders out. If I'm doing 30 something orders, I'm taping up 30 boxes, getting these hats done. By the time I remember, oh shit, I should be recording this, I'm down to like my last two or three orders that I need to box up. And I'll film myself taping up a box, filling it with the hat, putting you guys see me do handwritten notes on packing slips. But all of that is within less than an hour of me doing this shit. And it gets easier and easier as long as you build up the habit of remembering to pull out your phone. I don't have it all the way locked in yet, and I'm still struggling with the shit, but I'll tell you that it gets way easier once you start to get into the groove of, all right, I want to show people this. Let me do this. And I used to make videos where it's like start to finish of what I'm doing. And that's cool. But at the same exact time, that part is very, very hard to really monetize on and like stretch the content out. So now that I understand it's a numbers game and consistency, I'll take that long 2-minute video and I'll chop it down into like small 20-second videos, and I'll be able to get, 6 videos out of that thing instead of just one long one. And then that way, every day I could be posting boom, 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 and show the process of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Then it ends up landing into the faces. And I'm always wearing shirts that I make in the video. So then that way people see the shirt I'm wearing, I make, they see the hats that I'm making that I make, they see me pressing shirts and fulfilling orders. So they're getting a chance to see all of my products in this one 30-second video or 45-second video, whatever it is. So try to build up that habit. Sorry, it was like a super long answer to the question on what's the best marketing strategy, but social media is such a beast. Don't care about followers. Followers do not matter whatsoever in any of this shit anymore. Maybe it like unlocks certain things like live streaming and stuff like that. Somebody was talking about you need 10K to live stream on TikTok. But in order to make sales, you don't need a lot of followers. I'm proving the shit on Facebook right now. I think my Facebook has grown to like maybe 1,800 followers or some shit like that. But when I started like a month or two ago, I was at like 200 followers or something like that. And it just, the amount of people that are buying off of Facebook is crazy because it doesn't amount to like, I'll show you this, man. So on my Facebook, I have 1.9 followers, right? And it's all just the same videos you guys see on Instagram. Me doing hats, me doing shirts, me golfing, same shit you guys already see. But I only have 1.9 followers, right? But then when you look at like how many views these videos get, like this video right here, 7,590 views. This one of me golfing, 5,114 views, and I only have 1,000 followers. But then when you really like look at the shit, this little circle graph right here will show you 2% of the people that view this shit are followers. 98% of them are not following. So the videos just land in people's feed. You don't have to care if they follow you or not. You just want them to see the shit of what you're doing. So I could say this: social media is the wild, wild west right now. If you wanted to like promote shit, anything like that, you could really kill some shit right now. Threaded Headwear is a perfect example, man. Like you watch his videos, he's embroidering hats, but he's selling hats daily because he's showing himself embroidering hats. It's crazy, man. Sorry for the super long answer. Let me try to go back up here and read some of this shit through. Um, have you ever dealt with City Lab t-shirts? If so, what's your thoughts? I've never even heard of City Lab t-shirts, so I've never dealt with them. I don't have any thoughts on them because I've never heard of them or seen them or tried them or anything like that. Sorry. Uh, got some decals from Ninja Transfers. Not great. Went with Sticker Mule. 1000% better. There you go. Sometimes it just takes you trying the shit out. You know what I mean? A lot of people, when they, if companies are good at marketing, right? Their name is going to be very, very easy to remember, and you're going to understand what they do because their marketing is super dope. But it doesn't mean that their product's going to be like the best, right? And I'm not saying it's going to be bad either, but I'm saying if you get caught up by their marketing and you start to order from them, it's nothing for you to be like, nah, this doesn't work for me. It doesn't mean that that company's bad. It doesn't mean they're trash. It just means it doesn't work for you. And you go with somebody else, and that's cool too. Like all of these companies are there for us, the business owner. We, as the business owners, have the luxury of using whatever the fucking company we want to use. Like, if something doesn't work for us, fuck it, I'll go to the next one. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go to this one. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to be locked down because a content creator said use this company and it doesn't work for you. And then now you're mad because the content creator that you watch said to use this company. if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. It's not anybody's fault, not the company's fault, not your fault, not the content creator's fault. It's just you guys have to figure out what works for you. That's all I share on my channel is what works for me. Um, if I see success with something, I'm going to share it. And if it works for you, cool. If it doesn't work for you, it's also no rules in this fucking game. You do whatever you want. You literally can say transfers suck, heat pressing sucks, that shit's boring. I want a screen print. Does that mean heat pressing and shit like that is trash? No, it just means it's not for you. And you found a better way of doing things that works for you because somebody that lives in a 1 bedroom apartment that can't screen print now has access to a regular standard outlet that they could plug a heat press into and they could get shirts done that way. That works better for them because that fits their situation. So anytime like I try out transfer companies, I try out blank t-shirts, I try out all kind of shit to see like whoever was talking about Richardson earlier. It's not that Richardson's a bad hat. It's just my customers don't like it. So why would I force myself to offer Richardson hats to customers that don't even care for that hat and hurt my sales? I need to offer the shit that my customers like. So like these AS color hats, my customers love them. So I'm going to offer them. There's people out there that think this hat is not good and they rather use Otto or there's another one that I always see. I think it's called like headwear, hat vendor or some shit like that, headwear vendor or something, who also makes these two-tone frame hats. But I use this one because it works for me and my customers. It doesn't mean it's the best one out there, the only one out there, the only option. No, I just use the shit that I could be profitable with. So if you found that Ninja Transfer stickers were not good and you found better with Sticker Mule, fucking that's how the shit works, man. So knee down rider, I'm guessing you're a street bike rider because you're a knee down rider, or maybe you bodyboard. I can't see what your little logo is, but I think that's dope as hell. It shows exactly what you're supposed to do as a business owner. Research and development is such a big part of what we do. And for you to try something out, didn't work for you, you went with something else that you found what works for you. That's the that to me is a fucking home run in the business world. You know what I mean? Because that shows that you're actively out here trying to figure shit out for yourself. You know what I mean? You're not letting somebody do the thinking for you. Congrats on your Dodgers. Hell yeah. Hope that it brought sales up. Yeah, man, sales been booming, man, especially for this hat right here. This shit's been fucking killing for me. So shout out to the Dodgers. Shout out to the Dodger fans. Because yeah, like I said, man, it's driving sales up like crazy. I want to make t-shirts, but I'm having a hard time finding a brand name. Fuck the brand name. You don't need no brand name, man. J Star the Legend. Don't get hung up on a brand name. Worry about the design that you want to put on the t-shirt. If you're just thinking about putting brand names on t-shirts, you're gonna have a hard time selling t-shirts. Think about shit that relates to who you want to sell to, but mainly figure out who you want to sell these t-shirts to first. That way you could start making stuff that directly relates with that target audience. That's the way you're going to make sales. Though, like just putting a brand name on a t-shirt and then trying to find customers after the fact, that's the hardest way of trying to sell something. But if you find the audience first that you want to sell to, you now create designs catered to that audience, and then you only market that t-shirt or those designs to that audience, you'll see way better success than doing it the other way around. Most people do this is they're like, let me think of a cool brand name. Let me fucking think of the best logo in the world. This logo needs a mascot now. So let me think of a dope ass mascot to put behind there. Once you lock all that down, then you're like, all right, now let me go find some customers. Let me put this out. It's the hardest thing to do. Trying to sell some shit, like cold call people to try to sell them your brand name on, and they know nothing about you because you're a brand new startup company nobody's ever heard of. So trying to get somebody to buy into that, very hard. But if you do it backwards and you go to the customer first, you find the customer you want to sell to, and then from there you start making shit that relates to that customer, you'll see profits way faster doing it that way. That's how I run all of my businesses. I find the customer first, I figure out what that customer's into, and then from there is how I end up making shit directly for that customer base. You continue to use your vinyl cutter? Hell yeah. I use my vinyl cutter. I used to use it every day, not so much now. I probably use it maybe once or twice a week. Whenever I have new design ideas that mainly single or double colored designs, I'll cut it out in vinyl. I put it on a t-shirt, I wear it around. That's how I test out all my designs before I order transfers, because transfers get expensive, right? And I buy transfers by like the hundreds. So transfers get very expensive. So before I invest my money in transfers, I test the design out first to make sure I have an audience for it and there is a little bit of interest in that design before I get transfers made to sell them. Within my business, like the way I run my business, it's a lot of research, it's a lot of testing before getting to like the glamorous part, like making the shirt to sell it. So I know a lot of people don't like doing the testing part because that's not the fun, sexy part of owning a business. But I've seen so many fails in my lifetime that I kind of need to test shit out to make sure something's going to be somewhat profitable before I like move forward with it. Because once it's in the transfer phase, like I'm ordering transfers, that's when I'm like gearing up for my marketing. That's when I'm like figuring out how I'm going to get this out to the public. Before I waste any time and energy on any of that, I test the designs out. And I have way more failed designs than I do home run designs. But that's why I test shit out, right? Because if I got transfers made for every idea that I create, I'd probably be broke. I probably wouldn't be in business anymore because it's fucking expensive. Like it's very expensive to do and act on every single idea that I have. Even though I think it's a dope ass idea, the market will tell you otherwise. And usually the market doesn't lie. And I'm fucking putting shit out. I'd be putting stuff out that, nobody would care for, nobody would get, or there wouldn't be that much of an interest in it. So that's why I usually test stuff out. But like I said, within my business, there's more research, there's more homework being done, there's more data collecting being done before I actually go out and like this hat, for example. When I was offering these hats, I didn't want to do them because I don't wear this style of hat. Um, Not for nothing. I just don't like the look of it for myself, like when I wear them. So I stayed away from doing it. But then when I started to notice that these hats weren't going anywhere, I'm talking about like this off-white natural color A-frame hat with the colored bill buttons and stuff like that. Usually it's like this hat in black, like this one right here. So hats like this, right? Black, this neutral natural color, off-white color, very popular. Before I ended up actually offering this hat, I tested a bunch of them out. Otto made them. Like I said, hat vendor or headwear vendor has them. There's a few other companies that made this style of hat. I had to test them out before I actually got these. And then what I thought Otto had locked down was the color offerings and stuff like that. Then I noticed availability sucked because it was a popular hat. People were using them up. Inventory sucked, so I couldn't keep up with ordering from them and shit like that. And then AS Color came out with this one, and then when I tested it out, it was dope. It fit my head for one because I have a big ass head, but it fit. Color offerings were dope. Availability was on point, and the price point was dope. But before I offered it to any of my customers, since they were used to wearing the Otto hat, I had to introduce this new AS Color hat and see if they actually like the fit and feel and look of that hat. Even though they look somewhat similar, I wanted to make sure that my customers, so that again is me testing the market to see if this hat would be something that they'd be into. Because I would hate to like order fucking 8 dozen of these hats and then my customers like, hey, these don't fit like the other ones. Like, I don't like it. That would suck. So a lot of what I do is testing shit out. Like I'm big on that because I hate wasting money, man. I really hate wasting time and money actually. So that's why I use my vinyl cutter to test out designs before I order transfers. Another long ass answer, sorry. Um in Kappas, I'll pick my second AS color order tomorrow. I appreciate your recommendation. Hell yeah. Actually, I need to place another AS Color order too, man. I've been picking up like these hats, so it's been dope. Um, to move right out of your playbook. That's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. Um, okay, thank you. How long should shorts be? That part, it's up to 30 seconds, a minute, anywhere around there. Got your LA t-shirt with the Chucks the other day. Love it. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bohan Bima. I think that's your name, man. I might be messing that up, but I appreciate that. Uh you telling me about CapCut really helped with me posting more often. CapCut made things way easier for me to edit on my phone. That shit is dumb easy. And then they got like pre-made templates where you could just like drop your clips in and it like puts all the crazy effects and shit's moving around the screen. Makes your life way easier, man. Don't forget to like the video. Appreciate that. Duke of Hex, I appreciate that. What do you think about selling on Etsy? Thinking of starting a side hustle there, but don't know if it's maybe too saturated. I don't know too much about Etsy, but what I will say about Etsy for the few people that I know that actually use it is it is a grind because there's a lot of people on there. But if you do have a really dope product, it moves on there. The homie Odyssey Rock is somebody that I know that used to kill on Etsy doing like custom barbecue shirts and socks. And he used to make all, I'm pretty sure he still sells on Etsy, but I know he used to kill on Etsy. Threaded Headwear also sells a lot of hats on Etsy. It's a marketplace, so people go there searching for shit. But I will say, once you have like a dope ass idea design, a lot of people on there steal that idea. Once they figure the shit out that it's moving, they see it trending up, then they're gonna try to steal that idea. So at that point, it's a numbers game, right? It's like just you trying to sell as much as possible. While the going's good, you get in and get out. But then, there's people on there that figure out ways on how to get returning customers off Etsy and figure out ways of promoting to those customers and getting them to shop at their site and stuff like that. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. I know they charge you per transaction or something like that. Um, or maybe they charge you to be on the app. I don't know how it works, but if you wanted to get started that way, by all means, yeah, go for it, man. Like I said, it's a marketplace. So people go there to search shit up and try to get on there. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Let me see. Shorts can definitely help your channel gain. Hell yeah. All things shun, you are not lying. Shorts help, man. Like the short form content right now is just what everybody's consuming. So it's easy to do. Um, if you have a business or if you're trying to grow your social media or whatever you're trying to do, you're trying to make sales off social media, utilize shorts. The best thing I like about shorts is everybody consumes the content on what they consider like the For You page or the feed or whatever it is. You don't have to follow anybody. You'll just naturally land in people's faces who don't even follow you, had no idea you existed. But if your content's cool or your products look dope, people will be interested, man. So it's a cool way of getting seen and being discovered. I use it all the time. Like I mainly post TikToks, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. I post that shit daily. Let me see. Do you do voiceovers on the videos or just the video? I do both. Sometimes I do voiceovers. I use microphones like this. Like I'm wearing one right now. This is the Rode microphone. It just plugs into the bottom of your phone, like the receiver plugs into the bottom of your phone, and then you put the mic on. There's a clip or it's magnetic. This one's more expensive than this one. The circle one that I'm using is pretty cheap. This shit's like $20, $30. That's the mic that's picking up through YouTube right now. So if you wanted to, like, if it sounds cool to you, that's the one I'm using. But yeah, I do voiceovers. Sometimes I'll talk throughout whatever I'm doing. Sometimes I don't talk and I just post like a time lapse and throw some text on the screen. Switch it up. Do whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? Do you use hashtags? Yeah, every now and then I'll throw like 3 on there of whatever the content is about. I try not to steer away. Like I know some people utilize hashtags by like the World Series was cracking, right? And let's say they post a video that has nothing to do with the World Series, but they're gonna throw the World Series hashtag on there. I don't do too much of that. I really just if the shirts, I mean the videos about t-shirts, I'll use the t-shirt hashtag or something like that. I don't know if it helps or not, but that's just what I do. I've been posting more of my work recently, and new work has been coming in like crazy. That's exactly how it works, man. One of my homies, his girl started posting videos. She makes all kind of dope ass crafted goods and shit like that. She started posting videos, and she's been vending like crazy. Like every week, she's been out vending, and shit's booming. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's just posting what you do. You know what I mean? We're already doing it, so why not record it and put it up? It just opens the door for more shit to happen for you. Um, I have the same issue. Focus so much on work that social is the last thing I'm thinking about. That's it happens when I'm like in like go mode. You know what I mean? Like I see my Shopify app and I'm making a bunch of sales and I'm like, yeah, that's dope. But in my head, I'm just like, all right, I need to get all of these orders out. So do I got enough boxes? Do I got enough tape? Do I got, you know what I mean? I'm just like in work mode where I'm not even thinking about setting up the camera to get started on all that. So sometimes it takes a back seat, but I need to get better. I've been better because of the golf videos. The golf videos helped me get into the habit of recording all the time and utilizing content, like stretching the content out to make a lot of content out of a short amount of time. It doesn't have to be your whole day has to be consumed by the content. Like I said, an hour, 45 minutes, you could bang out so many small little short form videos in that time. It's crazy. Off a day, Glenn, what's happening, man? I missed the last two. Appreciate you for jumping on and catching this one, brother. Super cleaner, what's happening? Let me see. I'm trying to scroll back up. I've been rambling, so I'm gonna try to scroll back up so I could read some of these. I need to do the same thing. I was too worried about getting all these hats out the last couple days. I fumbled on so much content. Yeah, it happens to all of us, man. It happens to all of us. Man, it feels good when you catch people eyeballing the shirt. That's one of the coolest feelings is something that you created and somebody sees it and they like it. And then they're just like, yo, well, that shit's dope. Like, where the hell did you get that from? Or you just see them reading it or looking at it. It's a crazy feeling. That to me is like the ultimate high of what we do, right? Is getting a complete stranger to be down with your idea. You know what I mean? That's what I do it for. Let me see. The best thing to do is when you know you have a project, turn on the camera and forget about it. Yeah, that's exactly it. I have a bunch of designs. I'm selling it. I feel it's too much for customers. Do you think it's better to come up with one or two good sayings or designs that has become to be a lot to keep up with? This is what I always say. I don't care if you have one design, 28 designs. Only release the designs that you're 1,000% confident in. And when you're like, I'm confident in all of them, that's cool. But if somebody ever talks to you about your t-shirts and the very first one that you're eager to talk about or you're excited to talk about is the one you're most confident in, that's why you chose to talk about it. The other ones that you have that are just like, yeah, they're cool, but you're not 1,000% confident in, don't even put those out because you want to put out the shit that you could talk to your blue in the face about, right? You don't want to try to oversell something. You want to try to help the sell. So I always say only release the shit you're confident in. If you're not confident in 18 of them, just put the other ones out. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. Just keep them on the hard drive. And maybe it just needs like minor tweaks or something like that. Or maybe it's just not the right time for that design. I have hard drives like this. I keep these lacy hard drives around. I also have a solid state drive plugged into this MacBook right now, full of designs. I create shit all the time. And the reason I do it is because if I have an idea, I just try to get it out real quick and I work on it. And let's say I get stuck and I'm like, oh, I don't know what else this design needs. I don't force it. I just shut down Illustrator, or shut down Photoshop, and I take a break. I'm like, yeah, I don't need it. I'll come back to it the next day or something like that. I don't try to force nothing. I just start designing while it feels good. And then the moment I feel like I've did everything in my brain onto the computer on what I think I can do, then I shut it down. And then I come back the next day with fresh eyes. And then maybe there's something I'm like, nah, this doesn't look cool. Let me fix that, or let me add this, or whatever it is. But it doesn't mean that design's going to end up on a t-shirt and I'm going to be selling it just because I designed it. I want to make sure that I'm designing it with the purpose. I want to make sure I'm designing it to the best of my ability. And then I'll cut it out on vinyl. And then if it makes it to the vinyl cutter and onto my t-shirt, that's me wearing it somewhere out in public to see if people like it. Um, and then from there, that's what I end up releasing, is the shit that gets like good traction. Like somebody was saying, it feels good when somebody looks at your shirt. That's what I do, is I'll put it on shirt, see if people read it, see if people ask about it. If nobody says anything, nobody bats an eye about it, I don't put it out. Doesn't mean it's a bad design. It just, I don't have the right audience for it, so I don't put it out. Clean Cut Kev, what's happening? True Power Media, what's happening? You've inspired myself to start my wife's clothing business. Hell yeah. Good luck to you. Good luck to your wife. Get that money. That's what I'm talking about. All custom fashion. Hell yeah. I use vinyl for years. I'm never going back thanks to you. Yeah, man. I still use vinyl, like I said, to test shit out. If I have a multicolored design that I need to test out, I just have a DTF printer print it for me and then I test it out. Will you be at the Impressions Expo in January? Hell yeah, I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be there all 3 days, but yeah, I'll be there for sure. You're talking about the one in Long Beach. I DTF gang up my test designs. Hell yeah, that's the best way to do it, man. It's one, it's very inexpensive to do. Two, you get a full color design. Or if you don't even have a vinyl cutter to test it out, you can test it out with DTF because there's no minimums. If you just wanted one, you do it. Or if you just gang up like 8 different designs, then you could try out 8 different designs on t-shirts. You'll be good to go. Same with me, I don't wear dad hats, but dad hats is such a huge part of my business. It's the most popular hat, hands down, for my business and my targeted audience. Hell yeah. It, it's hard because you try to fight against it because you're like, "Ah, I don't wear this, or I don't know like what the fit is." But at that point, I asked my wife, like my wife wears dad hats. So I'm like, yo, does this one fit cool? Or these colors cool? And then that way I know what to offer. That's how I stumbled on the 47 hats. My wife loves 47 hats. And then I found out SNS Activewear. If you have an account with them, they have a 47 account. So you can buy like blank 47 hats that are branded with 47. Um, and their dad hats sell, man. Like did this gray hat for my wife. It's like a washed gray color, with my little brown shaka hand, and embroidered that. Shot it to my wife. That was just like a test one because my wife likes 47 hats, so I made one. And every time my wife wore it, people were like, "Yo, where the hell did you get that? That's dope." So then I ended up ordering more of those 47 hats, and then that became one of the popular sellers for like the last 3 years at this Hawaiian festival because it's just, I don't wear them, so I don't understand it. But since my wife does, it's easy to get her opinion, and she'll be like, "Yeah, these shits are dope," or whatever it is. Let me see. G6 Customs, what's happening? You didn't miss much at Printing United. It's a combination of ISS and GPX. You know what I did miss out on was I seen a lot of the cool content creators was there. G6 Customs being one of them. I saw, I think Mike Tees was out there. I seen like a little bit of the content that people were posting about it. So I was like, man, it'd just be cool to hang out with everybody. Schultz, what's happening? Uh, Devoted Brand will be hosting a meet and greet on Friday afternoon at the Long Beach. There it is. G6 Customs. Uh, did a meet and greet this last January, and the shit was dope. So we're gonna run that bitch back. Let me see. Facts. I have to go and adjust my site. Yeah, man. Do you do consultations? Yeah, I do. But only like when my time allows it. So if you follow me on Instagram, on my Instagram stories, I'll post when I have time for one-on-one calls. I post the link where to sign up and schedule your time, and then I usually delete the post after all the slots get filled up, and it gets filled up fast. It like right every time I put it up, within minutes, all the slots get filled up. So um, I would say follow me on Instagram. I don't know if there's a way to turn on like notifications from me or anything. I don't know if that's a thing, but yeah, if you ever see my story up, check it out. Chances are, it might be in there. Let me see. I think I'm caught up with everybody asking the questions. Appreciate you guys though, man. This was a cool one. I got to figure out the TikTok live thing though, so that way I could do TikTok live and YouTube live at the same time and kill two birds with one stone. For some reason, a lot of people are saying they can't watch the YouTube lives. They'll watch the replay, but they can't watch it live. But then if I did it on TikTok live, they can. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, there ain't no branding in these hats, dude. Let me show you. They have this that has no branding whatsoever. It's like care instructions, where it was made, the material it's made out of. I think they got it in two different languages. And then I already ripped them out. It comes with removable tags. So next to this tag, there's a you already ripped this one out. There's a little hang tag that comes with this hat, like right here, and it says like AS Color frame cap or something like that, and you can rip it out. Um, so the branding is removable on this hat, so there is no AS Color branding on this whole hat once you remove that tag, and it's made to be removed. It's perforated, so you just pull it out. I wanted to say I didn't think I pulled it out of this one, but I did. But yeah, there's no branding on that shit, so it's dope, man. One of the biggest key selling points outside of fitting big heads is there's no branding. So that's why I put my B on there. Like people get the hat and they're just like, oh, this is a dope hat. Have you tried six panels from AS Color? Do they have good ones? The cap that they do, I think it's called Craft. I can't remember the actual name of it, but the regular like flat bill six panel snapback, it fits cool, but I feel like it doesn't fit my head cool. So it doesn't like come down all the way to my ears. Like it'll stop like right here, which some people might like, or I might just have a abnormally weird shaped head. Um, so that's why I haven't used their six panel hats because it doesn't fit the way I want it to. So that's why I've been sticking with the Otto hats. But as you know, Otto's prices are fucking crazy. So I'm looking for other options. Like I said on the last stream, like I'm gonna check out Pitbull. Um, I can't go back. I want to go back to Decky, but I can't because Decky is so expensive too. Their hats are like $9, or I think it's more now. I think it's like almost $10 for a hat. Makes pricing it fucks pricing up like crazy. I wish Otto didn't raise the prices, but it is what it is, man. One above all, yay area tapping in. What's happening, Northern California? What vinyl printer or system would you suggest for beginners so that I can get practice and wear my designs? Get a vinyl cutter, Cricut, Cameo. Those are very inexpensive vinyl cutters. Um, you just have to buy whatever is compatible with your computer system. Like if you use PC, then buy the one that's compatible to PC, or maybe they're both compatible, PC and Mac. I don't know. That's why I use the Cameo. Cameo is compatible with Mac. My whole ecosystem is Mac everything, so that's why I use the Cameo cutter. But these are craft vinyl cutters, meaning they're not big, they're not bulky, they're not built for like high production. They're made to sit on your tabletop, run some vinyl through, cut some shit out. Um, doesn't mean that it won't cut for years because I've had my Cameo for years and it cuts. I haven't even had to change my blade. Um, but yeah, get you an inexpensive one, Cricut Cameo. make sure it's compatible with the computer system you have, and then get going from there. Um, those are fairly inexpensive. I think you can even buy them shits at like Walmart. Michaels has them. Hobby Lobby has them. Amazon. Um, but yeah, I feel if you have a heat press, vinyl cutter just goes with it. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Uh, what affordable printer? Yeah. One, you're not looking for a printer, you're looking for a vinyl cutter. And then the vinyl, you can use Caesar vinyl. You could buy vinyl on Amazon. You could buy Thermoflex. You could go to places like Atlanta Vinyl and buy vinyl from them, or B-Flex. There's a lot of like sites that you could buy vinyl from in bulk, like larger rolls, and it makes the per foot a little cheaper. Like I think like a 5 yard roll, 15-inch roll by 5 yards nowadays is probably like 35 bucks, maybe 40, um, which is pretty decent for that much vinyl. But then if you buy like Caesar vinyl from like Michaels, you might end up paying like $10 for, or I think it's like $18. I forget how much it is, unless you catch it on sale. But they only sell like 18-inch rolls, so you're getting like a foot and a half of vinyl for like $15, let's say. So yeah, try to look for like when you buy, like for white and black, or for me, white is usually what I like keep on hand all the time. So I would buy that in like big ass rolls, 10 yards, 15 yards, because I use a lot of it. Um, but like for other colors like reds and pinks and blues, I don't do a lot of that. I usually just buy like a 5 yard roll, and then just, that's like in my videos that you see me working in the shop. I have all those like rolls of vinyl hanging above my head. That's just because the job called for that random color, and I had to buy it. Started on Yupong, might be going back to Yupong. Yeah, and it looks like Yupong's prices haven't. They used to be really expensive, but now all these other like manufacturers caught up to their pricing, so now it's like competitive. Nothing wrong with Yupong, man. People know that fit. A lot of people prefer that fit also, so nothing wrong with it. Um, what's the name of your label printer? I use the Dymo Label Writer 4XL. I will say this: the labels come on a roll, like it's printed off a roll. If you're printing a lot of labels, like let's say you have 10 orders and you have to print 10 labels, by the time like the third label comes out, the shit's like rolling onto each other. And it's, there's nothing wrong with it, but I like to lay my labels flat, put the t-shirt on top when I'm like pulling orders. And it's a pain in the ass when like the label curls up like that. So that's my only gripe with that printer. But I've also had that label printer probably for the last 14 years, maybe 15 years or so. Uh, and it's still kicking because it doesn't take any ink. It's a thermal printer. So I just buy the cheap Amazon label rolls and then feed it through there, 4x6 label, and that's it. Stalls just became a Caesar reseller. There you go. I don't even know if I'm saying the name right. I don't know if it's Caesar or Sizer, but let me see. Is a color I should stick with starting out? I'm guessing you're asking like what color vinyl you should stick with. For me, black t-shirts, white vinyl, always like that shit doesn't go out of style. Junior started my brand in July. Your videos are the best, Zeus. I just bought a Heat Press Nation Heat Press, the Signature Pro. Hell yeah. And I think you just followed me on Instagram too, man. I appreciate that. Good luck with the brand, man. If you ever have any questions, I do these lives like this on YouTube every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, LA time. Or just hit me in the comments on Instagram. Just ask your questions there, and then I can try to help you out too. But good luck, man. And you got a dope ass press too. Like that's been my press for the Signature press way before I got on YouTube. I've had it even before Heat Press Nation knew who I was. I went and picked one of those presses up, and it's been a workhorse for me. Let me see. Yeah, if you're like just starting out, black t-shirts, white print, that's an easy call. Like doesn't go out of style, and there's literally everybody has that color t-shirt in their closet, in their wardrobe somewhere. Random question: how many shirts should I start with? Which size? Thank you for all the gems. That move here, it just comes down to you. Um, you could do size small to 3X, 4X, 5X, whatever you feel your customer base wears. And you could just do, like, if you're running an online store, you could just do one of each size. So you had one small, one medium, one large, one extra large, one double X, one triple X. Your customers don't need to know what your inventory is like. So let's say somebody buys that one large shirt on your site. Now that shirt says sold out. You take the money that you made from that one shirt and you buy two larges to replenish what you just sold. And that's how you're going to build up your inventory. You know what I mean? So all you're doing is basically building up your inventory one shirt at a time. And the reason I say just start with one t-shirt is because what if nobody buys size small and size medium from you, right? You have the option to buy it, you have one there. But let's say you said, oh shit, I need to buy a dozen of each size that I'm going to offer or whatever it is. If you have a dozen size small and size mediums, that's 24 t-shirts that are taking up space in your house, in your closet, in your garage, wherever you're operating out of. That real estate is worth way more than what those t-shirts are. The reason I say that is because sometimes we don't know exactly what sizes our customers wear. It's cool to have the option, but at the same exact time, you don't want to just stock your house with a bunch of t-shirts that aren't going to move. So if you just started with one t-shirt in each size, and then as those shirts sell out, now you know large is a popular one. Let me buy two more larges to replenish that. Now on your website, you have two larges to offer. And then let's say those two largest sell, then you buy four more. Keep recycling the money back into the business to build up what you're trying to do. And then that way, if nobody's buying size small, size medium, you only have one of each of those. And it's not going to take up a lot of room in your workspace. And at the same exact time, you're not wasting a ton of money on shirts that you can't sell. So just keep building the inventory as shit sells because that's going to tell you what your popular sizes are. People keep buying extra large and you keep having to replenish the extra large. Now you know my customers wear extra large. So you just keep somebody buys one, take that money, buy two more. Keep doing that and you'll build up your inventory. You don't have to start with a million of each size or whatever it is because your customer doesn't know what your inventory is. They don't need to know. If they see it sold out, then they're gonna be like, oh shit, I need to, whenever they launch shirts, I need to check back or I need to jump on it early before it sells out. So it's not a bad thing if your shirts look like they're sold out on your site. It just creates the feeding frenzy. You know what I mean? Whatever. Been a minute since I jumped on. Sam Tolbert, what's happening? I pray that you've been happy. Hell yeah, healthy and well. All of those things, I'm doing great. Thank you. Do you now have a PO box to receive gifts yet? I haven't. People been sending me stuff to the store, and my little slot in the in the door to my store where they put the mail. It's like one of those little skinny ones on the door, so like has a little flap that opens up, and you can shove like letters and shit in there. Uh, Somebody sent me a box of shit, and then the mailman just left it at the in front of the door, and then it rained, and then the shit got messed up. So I will be getting a PO box because I was thinking like, oh, I'll just do it for the retail store, but it doesn't work out that way. So once I get the PO box set up, I'll post about it, or it'll probably be in the description box of my videos. Found you on IG. Hell yeah, appreciate that, man. And I done messed up. That's me. Gotcha. Trying to gift a hoodie since you've been a huge inspo to me and my company, and I love to gift. I appreciate that, Sam. 1000%. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's me. So now I'm trying to sell all this extra merch. Yeah, it happens to everybody, man. But like I said, you don't. A lot of times, our eyes are bigger than our appetite, and we're like, oh man, I'm gonna need like 2 dozen of these sizes and 2 dozen of this because I'm gonna be selling. And they launch, and then they sell like one T-shirt. It happens. That's happens to all of us. So in order to not waste a ton of money on shit, man, you just start small. Like there's nothing wrong with starting small. And if you think like, oh my, I don't want my customers to think I'm a small brand. I want them to think I'm legit. Your customers don't know what your inventory is. Like your favorite brands don't tell you what their inventory is. So why would you be telling your customers what your inventory is? All they see is the size offerings and if it's available or not available, and that's it. So you could just operate that way and you'll be good to go, man. Pray for your continued and growing success. Shoots. Hey, I appreciate that, Sam. 1000%. I appreciate that. So thank you so much. And I appreciate the blessings too. Dog. Thank you for all the knowledge and good vibes. May it all come back to you, Mr. Slash. Thank you for that, man. Let me see. Any advice on selling out the trunk? Hell yeah, man. When I used to sell out the trunk, this is how it would go down. Is use the food truck mentality, right? So the way food trucks work is they jump on Instagram and Twitter and say, "Hey, I'm going to be here selling food at this time. Show up." That right there is already going to drive people to where you're at because a lot of times, and I'll say the independent rappers kind of killed this for a lot of people that sell shit out the trunk. Is a lot of people don't want to be bothered when they're walking out in public now. And the reason I say that is because the independent rappers, I don't know if you guys had this in your city, but here in Los Angeles, Venice Beach, Hollywood Boulevard, you would have these rappers that walk around with CD players and crusty ass headphones, and they're like, "Yo, listen to my new mixtape, listen to my album," and they trying to show you and trying to get you to buy their album and shit like that. And it's created like this weird like defense mechanism within consumers or just people in general where they're like they don't want to be bothered. You know what I mean? Like one, ain't nobody trying to listen to your mixtape. Two, don't bother me with your crusty ass headphones and try to put them on my head and try to get me to listen to your shit or buy into your shit. So people just have a natural defense mechanism built in where they're just like, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just trying to get to where I'm getting. I don't want nothing to do with whatever you're trying to sell. So that part makes it hard to sell shit out the trunk. So what I used to do was I use Instagram and Twitter exactly like the food trucks. And all I would do is I would post the shirts that I'm selling. And then I'd say, hey, meet me on this street and this street. I'll be here for 2 hours. I have my trunk popped open. I'll post a picture of what my trunk looks like popped open with the shirts in the back. If you want to pick up a shirt, come and do it. The best way to look at this, like to see how I was doing it, is if you looked at I don't run this brand no more. I have nothing to do with it. It's the Gardena Originals page on Instagram. If you just typed in Gardena Originals and just scroll to the very beginning, there's probably a bunch of pictures and videos and shit. But if you scroll to the very beginning, you'll see how I was doing the shit in like 2015 or whenever I was running that shit. You'll see the scavenger hunts I was doing around the city. You'll see how I was selling shit out the trunk. You'll see the little flyers I was making. You'll see what else was that? Oh, when I was selling like in bars, I would fucking sell t-shirts in random ass bars around the city. You can see all that. Like it plays out how I was selling the t-shirts, what I was doing, how I was selling shit out the trunk, the parking lots I was pulling up in. And it was just like, I'm gonna be here for 2 hours. I'm gonna be on Western and Artesia next to the Burger King or next to Papa John's. And I would pick parking lots that were where I wasn't bothering nobody. Like I'd be in the far part of the parking lot where it's kind of dead. So that way people could just drive up, pop out, buy shirts, and then they could take off. And I'm not bothering people in the plaza. I'm not bothering people trying to shop at Albertsons. I'm just selling my t-shirts in the far part of this parking lot. But that's how I did it. I noticed that like when people try to do selling shit out the trunk and they're trying to like hawk at people and be like, yo, check out my shirts and blah blah blah. That's a hard thing to do because a lot of people aren't in the mood to buy shirts out in public, I'll say. Like if you're just on the streets, there's nobody that's just in the mood to be buying clothes on the street. So it's a hard thing to do. You know what I mean? Like I used to do it at the gas stations and I noticed right away people just there to pump gas. Ain't nobody there to buy no t-shirts or hats from the gas station. So I would utilize social media to send people to the parking lots that I was posting up in. I call them parking lot pop-ups. And it grew like crazy. And it was to the point where I was like inviting other startup brands and other brands from the city, like, hey, I'm gonna be posted up right here. Like, people show up to this shit. And I was making a makeshift little market, like a little night market in these random parking lots with other brands, and people are coming through. It was to the point where like there was a dude I met that was selling like vape juice, like the little juice you put in the vapes. He was out there selling vape juice. Somebody else was selling sourdough bread. Somebody had a sock brand. The homies from 110 South used to pull up. The homie Bob the Barber, when he was part of FBN, he was pulling up selling stuff. It's just like it turned into a bigger thing than really what it was. But all I did was I just stole the idea from the food trucks. Food trucks would post a picture of their food and say, I'm going to be on this street and this street from this time to this time selling these tacos or these burgers or whatever it is. So I said, if it works for food, it's got to work for clothes. That's what I did. So if you went to Gardena Originals, look at the Instagram page and scroll to the very beginning, you'll see how I ran that brand and how I sold everything out the trunk. It's easy, but you do have to have a design or t-shirts that people would want. And then on top of that, you have to have, not, you don't need a following, but you need like a general interest in what you're selling for people to show up. You know what I mean? So your products kind of have to sell themselves too. Just landed my first agreement. Customer sending payment tomorrow. I was worried that I was overcharging for the Gildan performance shirts, but they knew those were expensive. Went with 2.6 times the cost. There you go, man. Get that money. Congrats on that, man. Landing those types of deals are dope, man. Get that money. Congrats. Just got home from work, started pressing an order here in New Zealand, and get to listen to you at the same time. Thanks for all your advice over the years. Budweiser, appreciate that. Shout out to New Zealand for one. I think that's dope as hell, man. The New Zealand accent is a dope ass accent too, man. Every time I be watching videos, I'm like, man, that shit sounds cool as fuck. How was your first online sale? Do you remember like what you did? Did you already had everything? Hell no, I didn't have nothing figured out, George, when it came to selling shit online. But I've been doing this shit for a very long time when like you used to have to like build your websites, not like Shopify. Maybe Shopify was around, I just wasn't privy to it. So you had to build the shit out and you had to um credit card processing wasn't even like a thing. So I remember I think the company was called Swipe or Stripe, can't remember, but you had to like sign up with them and then embed their credit card processor into your website. It was a whole ordeal. And then when it came to shipping, you had to do something totally different for shipping also. It wasn't as streamlined as it is now. But what I do remember about online sales when I first started and what I don't do now is I was so worried about the small details, like custom packaging, everything from like wrapping the shirt in like tissue paper, stickers, pins, lanyards, all these small little takeaways. I would throw that into the packaging. I don't even remember if poly mailers was like a thing. I was boxing shit up when I was doing this. And it just, for me, it was, I was worried about the wrong things. Now I just get random poly mailers, blank ones that you could get on Amazon. I slap my stickers on them. Um, I'm trying to be more efficient with that, and I don't worry about the small details no more. I was so hung up on the small details when I first got started that it ultimately crippled the business because I was more worried about branding and all that stuff than the actual product that people were buying. And that's why, like in my videos now, you'll hear me talk about like, don't give a fuck about brand names, don't give a shit about logos and branding and all that stuff, because the actual product that people are buying is more important than any of that other shit. The actual product is what people are purchasing. They're not purchasing your poly mailer or the custom box that you had screen printed, or they're not buying your shirt because you're giving them this fucking free lanyard or I was doing everything from like Bic lighters. I had custom Bic lighters made. I had Stickers have always been a thing. Custom pens. I was doing the most, and I was so worried about that stuff because I was trying to keep up with, what I seen other brands do, that I wasn't focusing on the actual product that people were buying. So I stopped putting energy into the products, and I started putting way too much energy into the small details that didn't even matter. That's what ultimately ended up crippling that brand. Was I was just fucking my energy was being spent in the wrong places. So now I'm more focused on the actual t-shirt, the t-shirt design, what people are buying. I'm focused on the returning customer. I'm not too much worried like about branding and all of that stuff. I feel like when people buy shirts from me, they're buying for the shirts on the out, like the design on the outside of the shirt, not for the neck label. They're not doing it for the hang tags. They're not doing it for any of that other fluff. All that shit, it's not needed when you're a startup. Like, you might think it's cool. Oh, these are like little extra touches mean something. That shit's getting thrown in the trash. You know what I mean? Like, there's reasons why when you buy a new iPhone, people keep the box because they feel the box is well made, and they feel like you're not going to return the phone. So why are you keeping the box? Well, people keep the boxes in their closets or in their drawers or whatever it is because they feel like that box is well built and it came with the phone or whatever it is. But then compare that box to like something random that you buy on Amazon. You're just ripping through the shit just to get the product. You don't care about the box. It doesn't even matter. But that's because whatever you bought off of Amazon isn't, like, Apple built their branding to be that, right? To have that cell phone box be something that you want to keep. MacBook boxes people keep for whatever reason. That shit's not, once you bust the computer out, you're not returning the shit. It's like throw the shit away. Same thing with your iPhone. Throw the shit away, throw the box away. But people feel that they spend so much money they want to keep it. We compare ourselves to Apple. As a startup, you're not doing that type of shit. You know what I mean? Your packaging, that poly mailer that you had screen printed, is going to get ripped up, thrown away. That custom box that you had screen printed is going to get cut up, thrown away. Nobody gives a shit about that kind of stuff. They're only caring about the product when you're a startup. If you're well established and business has boomed for you for years, yeah, obviously you built up that loyalty where people are going to continue to shop with you and stuff like that. So now adding that kind of stuff later on makes sense. But when you're first startup, it doesn't, man. Like, I failed so many times thinking that that was needed. I was just wasting money, wasting time. Shit was dumb. Uh, Brandon, what's happening? Um, I'm hometown Pomona in Ontario. It was the cologne sellers that killed the parking lot. Cologne is another one, man. Cologne is another one. That's pretty funny. Holy shit, someone still runs Guardian Originals after all these years, man. Like I said, when I sold it off, I just sold it off and said, "All right, y'all got it." Every now and then they'll hit me up for like guidance on stuff, and I'll still help them out, but I have nothing to do with that brand. What's the best service for shipping? I like USPS, the post office. It's easy, it's cheap, fairly simple to use. There's a bunch of post offices around here, so I could just drop the packages off. So that's what I use. Is your name actually Brando? Nah, my name's Brandon, but everybody calls me Brando. I've been Brando for since I was 9 years old. My mom calls me Brando. Um, the homies all call, like, the name Big Brando comes from, I have another homie named Brandon, an older homie, and he was Big Brando. I was Little Brando for the longest time. And then yeah, for that was just a way to tell us apart. Was, I mean, not that we look the same. It's like when you call, you just yell out somebody's name, both people are gonna turn if they have the same name, right? So when people like our older homie, shout out to my homie David, rest in peace. He's the one that named me Brando, but he used to call both of us Brando. So it was Big Brando, Little Brando. And then I ended up inheriting the Big Brando name because I got big. Like, I used to be big, like size wise, I was way bigger than I am now. Um, so then I ended up becoming size wise bigger than my big homie Brando. So then I just inherited the name. Your new hat stickers are dope. Those shits are dialed. The new hat sticker is actually cool and it works pretty well. Um, it's funny because everybody, when they're making those stickers, they're going for gold metallic and circles because that's what New Era does. So I said I'd rather do hologram and squares because it's a little different than doing circles. But yeah, that's the only reason I did mine that way. Let me see. Everything you say makes sense. I was also worried about the name and all when you told me that if those things don't matter, and what matters more is the design of the shirt. And it's true, man. Thanks. That's exactly it, man. It's a weird thing to say, and it probably goes against everything they teach in college and shit like that about starting a business and branding and marketing and all that. But most people get hung up on brand names, logos, and shit like that, and they forget about actually making shit that the customers want to buy. So your shirts could be called George Morial. I think that's your last name. Nobody's gonna care. They're gonna care about what's on the outside. As long as you're making shit that's relatable to the end user, you'll sell all day long. All day long. So I've been wanting to ask you that because my name is Brandon too, and some people say Brando. Yeah, it's just an easy way to shorten up somebody's name. You know what I mean? There's a ton of people named Brando out there, or Brandon, that go by Brando too. I noticed this because like when I'm out vending and I give away stickers, right? My little big Brando stickers. Sometimes people take them like, "Oh shit, man, my friends call me Brando too," and then they just take the sticker. So that shit's cool. I low key bit the U pong with mine. Yeah. Um, if you look at the color blocking on my sticker, it's like the auto sticker. The auto sticker is a square sticker with rounded corners. I didn't round my corners, but it's black and red. My sticker has a red border and black text, and then my dumb little character that I drew. Do you do in-person consultations? Not too much anymore. Every now and then I'll do them, but I do a lot of like one-on-one conversations through Zoom and Skype and stuff like that. Whenever time permits, I usually post it on my Instagram and say, "Hey, I have this time open, or I have these 3 time slots open." And then I post on my story the sign up link, and then whoever signs up signs up. But not so much in person no more. I don't really don't have the time to do in person consultations anymore. Let me see what up, man. Thank you for all your videos, really helpful. Theo Taco, I think that's your name. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for watching. Ink and cloth brand. Have you ever spoke about insurance? I can't find exact coverage for what we do. It all depends. Um, like the last live, I think we talked about insurance for people that do like vending out at like festivals. Some festivals like require you to have liability insurance and stuff like that. For like general small business insurance, like liability, or if you're trying to insure your equipment or insure whatever you're trying to do, um, there's companies like Thimble, companies like Next Insurance. They're made for like small businesses. Those ones are kind of cool to look into. A lot of them are just handled online. Um, or if you have like an insurance agent in your family or immediate circle, like that works for like State Farm or somewhere like that, you could always pick their brain about insurance, about what you actually do, so you could get the right insurance. But for like some regular small general business insurance, companies like Thimble and Next are kind of popular in the small business space. I got Shopify still not published. Oh, I missed it, but they something. Yeah, so ink and clothing, like if you're trying to get insurance for like, I don't know if you're doing tattoos because your thing's called ink and clothing. Um, that part I'm not 100% sure how that type of insurance works, but if it's like for like selling t-shirts and or you have a print shop or something like that, um, You could always just look up like small business insurance and then on Google, and then a bunch of things will pop up. But I bet you Next Insurance and Thimble Insurance will be the first two that pop up because those are kind of the most popular. Like a lot of small businesses that I know all use those also. What are your thoughts on print on demand for new startups? I got two issues with print on demand. One, it cuts into your profits. Two, you don't control the quality. So you're putting all of your faith into the print on demand company that they're going to ship your customer exactly what you think looks right. And the reason I say that is I used to do this thing called boxing session on my channel a long time ago. And that's where people that watched me would send me their t-shirts so I could review them on camera. A lot of people started using print on demand companies and sending me their stuff through print on demand companies. What ends up happening is they send me the shirt. They don't know what the shirt looks like. They order it through the print on demand company and then it ships to me. So you as the business owner never see the finished product. You don't know what the customer is going to receive because like I said, you're putting your faith into that print on demand company that they're going to provide the highest quality possible. What I started receiving was like the print being crooked, the print being right up at the collar, the print being muted in color and being a horrible print, printed on the wrong t-shirt. That kind of shit was crazy. So what ended up happening was I would hit people up, and then when they would send me their shirt, I'd hit them up and be like, "Yo, did you know your shirt looks like this? Before I make this video, I don't want to hurt your business or anything, but this is what I received. If this is the way it's supposed to look, I'll put a video out. But if this is not the way it's supposed to look, you got to hit up your print on demand company." And that's what ended up happening was a lot of times they're like, "What the hell? That's not supposed to look like that, or it's not supposed to be that color, or the print's supposed to be lower." You got to remember these print on demand companies. It's just they're just hiring some people to run some DTG printers. They don't give a fuck about your brand. They don't care about what it's supposed to look like. All they care about is cashing in on their paycheck, clocking in, clucking out, whatever they're printing within that time that they're in that shop. They're just going to go through the motions. So if you care about the quality that you're putting out, print on demand won't be a good option for you because, like I said, you don't get to see what the customer is going to receive. When you do everything yourself, you're printing for yourself and stuff like that. You're the one packaging it up. You're the one sending it off. You know exactly what the customer is going to receive. As the business owner, that peace of mind is worth millions. You know what I mean? The print on demand company, they don't care. Not saying all print on demand companies do horrible quality, but there is a little bit of room for error when that happens. So it could happen, it couldn't happen. You know what I mean? But if you, the business owner, would never send a shirt with a crooked print or anything like that, at least you know and you have peace of mind that the customer is going to receive exactly what you sent them. So those are the reasons why I don't really like it. I was on your boxing session. Oh, hell yeah, man. Frequency flow. That's what I'm talking about, man. But yeah, that's why like I started to not like print on demand because I seen a lot of people send me shit for the boxing session videos and it was just horrible quality. You know what I mean? Thanks, your content is very motivational. I'm just getting started in the t-shirt business. More to create? Hell yeah, get that money. But two, this business is creative driven, but at the same exact time, this business is a lot of hard work. You only get what you put into this thing. So I'm not going to tell you like, oh, this shit is fucking easy to do. You're going to be making tens of billions of dollars. I would love for you to make tens of billions of dollars. But at the same exact time, I understand that most startups, our heads are everywhere. You know what I mean? Like we're thinking of a million different things and it's hard for us to focus on shit. And that's why my content is mainly about selling the t-shirts because nobody really talks about selling t-shirts and that's a hard part of the business is actually selling them. So a lot of my content is swayed heavily into the selling space because I want people to understand like, you got to get crafty with how you sell these things because ultimately that's what it is. Like I hate people they're like, my friends and family are buying my shirts, blah blah. Like we're not trying to get rich off our friends and family. Like we want perfect strangers to buy our shit. Your friends and family are going to support you no matter what. But at the same exact time, like, you can't depend on your friends and family to buy everything you drop and support your lifestyle that way. It just doesn't work that way. So just know the business is hard, but it is fun and it is just hard work. As long as you're not scared of hard work, man, you'll do good in this business. I have my Shopify store not published yet, almost done with it. I bought 3 blanks of each size. I want to start with that just to see what would the process for shipping be like. Any advice? I think that's the best way of doing it. Start out small, and then as things go, replenish the store. I would say start posting on social media to get some traction, show what you're going to be selling, tell your story on your social media to drive the sales. And then um, the other advice I give you is when we're doing this, like when we're getting ready to launch something, like for you, if it's like getting ready to publish your website, in our head, that's the most important thing ever, right? This is a big deal. To the world, it's not going to be a big deal. That's the very first thing that's going to be so soul crushing about this business. Because if you don't promote your business online before you launch, nobody's going to be checking for your website. Nobody's going to be checking for your Shopify. Nobody's going to be waiting right when you launch if they don't know about it. So you have to be very active on your social media to really, really drive the traffic to your new Shopify store if you want a successful launch. Easier said than done. But like we talked about earlier in this live, get into the habit of creating content. Get into the habit of just pulling your phone out, recording what you're doing. Right now, you should be filming everything you're doing. The blank t-shirts you're choosing to use, why you're choosing to use those blank t-shirts, the design process for your designs, what your business means, what your website means, what all of the shit that's going into your business that you're working on now is what you should be recording. Fucking, you should be like fucking recording yourself watching this live and be like, man, this is the research I'm getting just for the content in general. The reason I say that is because you want to be able to tell your story. You want people to understand what you're building towards, what you're working towards. You want people to see the hard work that goes into what you're doing. So then that way they could follow the journey. Now they feel like they're a part of what you're doing. So when you launch, they're going to be like, oh shit, man, this is what he's been working on. Hell yeah, I support this. That's what you're looking for. Really, really hope like that drives home for you because nobody's going to be checking for your website. I used to feel like this, like, oh fuck, I'm about to launch my new website. I click publish, go live. The only visitor I see on that shit is me because I keep checking my site to see like who's visiting my site. That shit is fucking ego busting like a motherfucker, man. And that is the worst part about the business is because we're caught up in what we're doing. It's important to us. It's like, oh shit, like this is a big deal for us. But if the world doesn't know that it's a big deal, nobody's gonna be checking for it. And like I said, it's almost like getting kicked in the nuts because it's like here's all this hard work and then you're let down because nobody's going to your site to look for it, and that's only our fault because we're so focused on getting the website set up. We're not focused on telling people what we're doing, what we're working towards. So start recording content, start posting it now, start get the ball rolling before you launch, so then that way people are along for the ride for you. So I hope that helps you out. And I really hope you take that advice to heart and really start creating the content and promoting the business and stuff like that. I have several designs on my site, but gonna go and change all of it now. Do I let customers know beforehand or just do it? You just do it. Unless like you see the data, right? Whatever shirts you've been selling already, obviously those are the popular ones, right? But if you've only sold like one or two of a certain design, doesn't mean it's the popular one. So you know which ones are popular, leave the popular ones up, and then the ones that aren't popular, that aren't moving, take them down. Nobody's gonna know. That was my mistake, no promoting. Everybody has a hard time with that because nobody really thinks about that part. And a lot of people rely on, oh, I'll just give one of my shirts to a popular influencer and then they'll blow my site up because people are gonna want it. It doesn't work that way no more. The days of having influencers wear your clothes and shit like that, shit doesn't generate sales. If the influencer isn't talking about your brand, nobody's gonna know where to buy the shit. So it doesn't work that way. I wish I would have found you 2 years. Man, I've been making content for like the last 9 years, man. So you're not late. You know what I mean? It just the shit that I talk about is realistically what happens in starting a t-shirt business from home. We all go through the same shit. I just hope a lot of my videos help somebody not make the same mistakes I made. You know what I mean? If you didn't find me 2 years ago, you found me now. And you know what I mean? The the rules stay the same. Nothing changes. You know what I mean? If you go back and watch my videos from 9 years ago, I'm talking the same shit. I'm showing the same way that I promote my shirts now that I did 9 years ago. I've created brands on YouTube just to show you what it's like to start a brand from scratch, how to promote, how to get sales, um, all of that stuff, man. Really appreciate everything you say, man. I follow all your advice and thanks for sharing with us because it's hard, but this helps a lot. It is hard, man. It is hard. And I understand that this type of shit does help people out. That's why I do it. But also, I want you to really understand that we all go through the same shit. All of us that start t-shirt businesses, brands, start websites for selling t-shirts, we all do the same shit. We all have the same exact mentality going into it. Sometimes we all need an outside voice to remind us how to stay grounded and look at other shit that we might have overlooked. So appreciate you for watching it. And this is the best way to get any kind of advice or tips or whatever you want to call it, man. Like you ask questions in these live streams, I try to answer them right here. Are you sourcing everything out of DTLA or do you source from China? I don't do anything through China or overseas. Um, to me, I try to do everything local as possible. I use AS Color because they're located in Carson. It's easy for me to get to. I use them for shirts and hats and hoodies and pants and sweats. I use them basically for everything. I also use Shockaware still. They're in LA. I was using Auto Hats. They're out in Ontario. Um, I was using Decky. If you remember when I was using Decky, they're out in Compton. Um, yeah, I just source everything that's kind of local to me. I don't like doing anything overseas if it's not like cut and sew. If I'm not really trying to manufacture some shit, which I'm not, I'm just doing t-shirts and hoodies. Just easier for me to get to. As for social media marketing, creating content doesn't matter, low quality, high quality, it doesn't matter. It's a numbers game. You just have to continue to create engaging content. I shoot for making content that's shareable. Um, I tested this out on TikTok and Instagram. I talk about it in my YouTube videos of making using food to be shareable, right? So it'll be like me going to a restaurant. I'm wearing a shirt or the hoodie I'm trying to sell, and I create content around the food, but the people are seeing my products in the background of the food, right? So I made these hoodies. This was last year. I made this brown hoodie that says homegrown South Bay, Los Angeles on it. I was eating at popular South Bay restaurants, whether they were like new, whether they were old mom and pop spots, but I was eating at these places and then I would make the content about the food. But in the background of the food posts and stuff, you'll see the hoodie, right? It'll say homegrown South Bay. These are South Bay restaurants. I'm catering that hoodie to South Bay people. I sell the shirt in my South Bay store, so I know exactly who I'm targeting. I used food for it to be shared. So then that way people will see the food that I'm eating. We've all done this, like, oh shit, look at this new restaurant. And you send it to your wife, or you send it to your husband, or you send it to your friends, or you say, like, oh shit, have you ever been here? And you send that. So I started to test how shareability works using food because I mean, I do it with my wife. Like, I'll see a new restaurant somewhere from like one of these foodies and be like, yo, we got to go try this place. So I started using food to promote my hoodie. Nowhere in the video do I say, hey, come buy this hoodie, blah, blah, blah. All I want is for South Bay locals to see the South Bay hoodie at this South Bay restaurant to basically create brand awareness. And that's 1000% how I sold that brown hoodie last year. So I found out that that shit works. Shareability is the fucking craziest content that you can make. If you can make content that people want to share, 1000% it'll do good for you. So it works. Like I tested this shit out all last year. Shit works. I still do it. If you watch my videos of me golfing, you'll see me in my shirts and hoodies. I'm at South Bay golf courses hitting golf balls. I'm wearing South Bay gear. People will be like, yo, have you ever been to this golfing range? Or some startup golfer will be like, yo, your swing sucks or whatever. I know that they're watching this shit because I'm tagging this South Bay golf course, me as a beginner golfer, me wearing the clothes. It makes people see what the hell I sell. That's all. It sounds stupid, but that's basically how this shit works. uh, Hello from Watts, Los Angeles. Shout out to Watts. What's happening? Love your content. Want to know if Super Gang sheets, Super Color, are better than regular size sheets. Yeah, Super Gang sheets are 11.7 by 16 and a half. That's their gang sheet size, their big gang sheet size. I think it's called A3 on their website. Um, but yeah, that's like the biggest one they offer. Unless you're doing like DTF through Super Color, like Super DTF, they'll do 22 inches by run, like by 10 feet if you wanted to. You are helping me now. That's it, man. Looking forward to linking up at our first LBC Impressions Expo. Hell yeah, man. I'll be out there. Find me in the crowd. Let's drink a beer, hang out, chop it up. That's what I'm there for. You should do a subscriber meetup at SC Village. The paintball place? That shit's still around? Mako, what's happening? Ravent, what's happening? Do I need to have an EIN in order to make purchases from Supercolor? No, you don't. You can purchase retail. If you have a wholesale license, you could purchase wholesale where the price is going to be at a wholesale rate. But you can just purchase regular. You're a legend, bro. Appreciate that. Be great, Danny. Thank you, brother. Food and wearing my brand is so dope. I'm gonna start doing that because I like for grind. Yeah, man. When I'm out in Hawaii, I do this all the time. Is I'll it sounds stupid, man, but this shit works. And it's I'm showing the food, I'm wearing the shirt that I'm trying to sell or the hat I'm trying to sell, and I'll put the hat strategically behind the plate of food so you could see it. But nowhere in the post do I say, buy this shirt, buy this hat. It's just for brand awareness because that video is all about the restaurant. It's going to get shared because people are going to see it like, yo, we need to go eat over here. Look at this. Or have you ever tried this? So we're getting people to share our shit based on the food, but then it has the products that we're trying to sell in there. So then that way people will see the products unsolicited, if that makes any sense. That's the whole strategy behind that shit. What's the difference between the gang sheets from Supercolor? I use the wearable transfer, which is a screen printed transfer, and then Super DTF is a DTF transfer, 100% digital transfer. Um, so the one that I use, the gang sheet that I use, is called a wearable transfer. It's a water based ink. It's screen printed, and it comes out on sheets like 11.7 by 16 and a half sheets, where they actually burn the screen, push the ink through the screen onto the transfer film. Um, DTF, like standard DTF, whether it's Super DTF or any DTF, is 100% digital print. It's a roll of film that gets printed, then it goes through a shaker that puts adhesive powder on, then it goes through a little oven, and then it comes out on a roll, and then you cut them all out. Those are the big differences. Is Super Color wearable is screen printed, and then Super DTF is digital. Can they be able to remove background and vectoring images as supercolor? Now you got to do that yourself. You have to send them print ready files. They don't do anything to fix up or doctor or edit your images. You send them exactly what you want printed. So if you want the background removed, use your software to remove the background. If you're trying to vector the shit, use Illustrator or whatever you have to do to create your own vector work. You only send them print ready files, meaning they have to be sized correctly, like what you want the size to be. You can't send it to them and be like, hey, make it this size. Don't work that way. You send them exactly what you want printed, size the way you want, colored the way you want, and they'll print it for you. Not sure if you have any info on LLCs, but do you know anything about dissolving, terminating one, how, or if it's easy or hard? Fairly easy to do, to terminate your LLC. Um, Wherever you registered your LLC, like wherever you're from or whoever you registered it through, whether it's the city, county, if you went through an attorney to do it, you would just go back to them and then end up doing it. Um, I know paying that yearly fee is a fucking bitch. So like when it comes to like DBAs and stuff like that, they're good for 5 years. When it comes to LLCs, like DBAs, you don't pay yearly for them. You only pay that first $30 fee. But LLCs and stuff like that, like here in California or Los Angeles, things like $600, $800 um, a year that you pay for that thing. So shit gets pricey. So if you're trying to terminate it, wherever you registered it from, just go back. Do you have just one IG account when promoting, or do you have a personal? I have a personal one that I don't promote nothing on. It just has like family pictures and shit like that on. And then I have like my business, like the Big Brando TV one. I do it there, or if I'm like whatever brand I'm running, I do it on there. But my personal one, I don't put nothing on there besides like friends and family shit. Usually it's like me messing with my brother and like videos like that, but it's nothing crazy. One better than the other. For me, I like screen printed transfers. That's why I use them. Um, just depends on whatever you want to use, really. Let me see. Let me see. Trying to run back through and try to read most of this stuff. All right, if anybody else has any questions, man, shoot them out. We almost did 2 hours on this thing, so appreciate you guys for throwing out dope ass questions and keeping the conversation rolling. Um, Mahalo, Hawaii's finest opening on Maui. Yeah, man, that's gonna be a big one. And the shit looks dope because obviously, Maui's colors are pink, and then the whole store is decked out black and pink. The shit looks ill. Long time coming, I would say, because I would imagine that that would be a place, uh, like, because they got one on Big Island. They have multiple ones on Oahu, Molokai for sure. Maui's gonna be the next one. They have Vegas, so Maui's the easy call, man. And then I want to say that the mall that it's opening in, um, I can't remember the name of it, but I feel like that shit is gonna be dope as hell, man. Shout out to Hawaii's finest too, man. That I'll say this: if you guys want to get inspired by a brand, watch Hawaii's finest. And the reason I say that is because just any island in Hawaii is limited on resources. When I say limited on resources, I mean they're in the middle of the Pacific. Everything has to get imported to them. Everything. Blank t-shirts, equipment, fucking everything. There's nothing there for them. And a brand like Hawaii's Finest they have the Windward Mall, Ala Moana, Kamakana Ali'i. They have two in actually Kapolei. They have the collective store and then the flagship store at Kamakana Ali'i. They have Ala Moana, Windward. Um, those stores alone, that's just on one island, and that island's not even that big. Like Oahu's not huge at all, but to have that many flagship stores on that island is crazy in itself. But to see how much they put out every single Friday, they put out full collections, brand new collections every single Friday. And they've been doing this shit for years. Like every Friday, a whole, not just one t-shirt. I'm talking about full collections, men's clothes, women's clothes, accessories, everything. They kill the shit. And like I said, they're limited on resources. I'm fucking here in Los Angeles. I have access to everything and I can't even do what they do because it's pure grind, man. I think it's dope as hell what they do, how they do it, and how they keep evolving. Like they have a store in Vegas. They opened up Big Island. They're opening one in Maui. Like it, and they throw the dopest concerts. The grind is so inspirational. The shit is sickening. Shout out to Wise Finest. Shout out to Lele, the whole crew, because I think that shit is dope as hell to me, man. Let me see. What hoodie you used before AS? I was using Smart Blanks. I was using Independent, Main Street and Avenue hoodies. I was using the Smart Blank one with no strings. I don't remember the name. I think it's just called Premium Hoodie or something like that. Those were like my main go-tos before I started using the AS Color Relax hoodie. Let me see. Is it too much if I promote on all platforms? Hell no. Put it on every platform you want. And what t-shirts? Right now I'm using AS Color Block. Before I started using the AS Color Block, I like the AS Color Classic too. That's like a personal one I like to wear. Um, I was using Shockaware Active. I was using that's it. Shockaware Active. I was using Smart Blank for a little bit. Their sizing is kind of inconsistent, so I stopped using them. But Shockaware was dope to me. Shockaware Active. Shockaware Heavyweight or Max Heavyweight, kind of too heavyweight for myself. Um, the Shockaware Active shirt, kind of like a 1301 with a better collar, I guess. Touching on what you stated earlier, how many pieces do you recommend we sell before we start to focus on product details? Nah, I wouldn't say anything like that, man. 10K, 100K, nah. Um, like I would say you would know when things are actually like moving for you, like really bubbling and moving for you to like focus on details and stuff like that. There's no like magic number. It's all based on feel. Like if shit's moving, buzzing, everything is like working, then you would know, all right, I need to pay attention to my customers. And that's the only thing details matter to is to the customer. So if you're focused on the returning customers and you see repeat customers coming through shopping with you, then that's when you start to like really focus on that kind of stuff because you already have a good thing going. But it's getting off the ground to get to that good thing going part is the part that takes a little while of you actually just grinding the shit out. Make a video on using your Cameo workspace to create a design. I don't create no designs in my Cameo software. I only use it to cut. I create all my artwork in Adobe products like Photoshop and Illustrator. Um, you can't create something in Cameo and then send it to Supercolor. It's like Cameo is a proprietary cut software. Um, so I use Photoshop, Illustrator, stuff like that. Is there a max amount of poly a cotton shirt can have before risking the Supercolor transfer not to stick? It's not about not sticking, it's more about dye migration. So polyester is when you dye, like polyester isn't a natural um, material. So in order to color polyester, they dye the fabric. When you heat up that fabric, the pigment in the fabric, once it's heated up, the gases release the pigment, and then the pigment naturally starts to dye the print. So you want to be careful with polyester and dye migration when it comes to transfers. So what you want to do if you're using any t-shirt with polyester in it, like a colored t-shirt, you want to look for a transfer that has some kind of like sublimation or dye migration blocker on it for Super Color, I think theirs is just called Sub Blocker, and that's made for polyester, like anything with polyester in it. So then that way you don't get any dye migration on there. For example, if you're pressing on like a burgundy shirt and you're pressing white print onto a burgundy polyester shirt, that white print will look pink. And it basically dyes the white in the print. If you're doing black, your white print will look gray. Um, it's just, it is what it is. So if you're doing anything with polyester, make sure your transfer has some kind of dye migration blocker in it. They are major. Yeah, you're talking about Hawaii's finest. Yeah, I think so too, man. Dope as hell. You recommend getting a vinyl cutter starting out? Hell yeah. Vinyl cutters are dope. If you didn't want to get a vinyl cutter, find a good DTF printer, somebody that could supply you with DTF prints. But having a vinyl cutter helps if you have a heat press. Cameo, Cricut, they're both cool. I use Cameo. Dope as hell. Do you know Hawaii's finest owners personally? Yeah, man. Like when I go to Oahu, I try to connect with them. But to me, I would say Hawaii's finest is the ultimate brand. Like when we're talking about knowing who you're selling to, catering to your audience, and giving them exactly what they want and need, they do it the best, hands down. And I think that's why they coined the phrase the people's brand. Like they're really for the people, man. Like they kill shit. So shout out to them, man. Let me see. It's crazy. What's their name again? Hawaii's finest. If that's what you're asking for. I think on Instagram it might be HI finest, or just type in Hawaii's finest and it'll pop up. You could see how they drop their shit every Friday. You could see the marketing. They use their models, the people that they put in their campaigns and stuff to wear their clothes are everyday people from Hawaii. That's what's dope as hell to me. They're not using anybody crazy. They're using everyday people in their shit. It's just dope, man. What they do is so fucking dialed, unreal. Um, Lotus finally made it to one of these. Appreciate that. Just jumped on. Did I miss any updates on ebooks, workshops, or next store openings? I'm planning on opening the store this month, November. Obviously, we're gonna open for sure after Thanksgiving. Probably that Saturday after Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna work on opening another weekend before that in November to drop a bunch of the new shit, mainly like South Bay shit. Um, all the LA stuff will be available, but that's the plan. As far as ebook, I haven't finished the marketing section of the ebook, so I need to get that done. And workshops, yes and no. I'm actually working with the homie I Can Do It Studios, Kenji. We're gonna try to put together something pretty dope for everybody as far as workshops. And my brother for sharing your knowledge with us. Not a problem. What software you use to create ads, videos, for instance, PC software for editing? Software to make my YouTube videos, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. For making stuff on short form like Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that, I use CapCut. I learned about dye migration the hard way with Black Guild and Dry Blend. Oh yeah, man. What's your advice on staying motivated? The way I stay motivated is I always put the customer first. I'm always making stuff for the customer, for the target audience. That's usually my main motivation. Money motivates me too, but mainly it's always how can I make cool shit for customers? And with keeping the customer in mind, you're always going to be able to make stuff that directly relates with them. So, for example, my retail store is located in Torrance, California. Torrance is in the South Bay of Los Angeles. I make stuff for the South Bay for my retail store. I make shirts, hoodies, hats for the South Bay, basically to feed the community around me. So they come in and they shop with me. A few people that watch me on YouTube, they'll come and check out the store. But if when they come, they'll notice there's not much for them because it's so community driven in my store. Now, I say that because I'm always making South Bay shit for the store because I'm always thinking about the South Bay customer. I'm always thinking, all right, what can I make for them to wear down at the Strand, in Hermosa Beach, in El Porto, El Segundo, Redondo? I'm always thinking about the South Bay customer. So that's what keeps me making shit for them. And that's, like I said, my retail store is mainly for that, for those people. That's how it works. That's basically how what keeps me motivated of creating shit is just creating for the customer. When I type in Hawaii's finest, Big Brando's face pops up. Hell yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Hawaii's finest. Is their logo black and white? I don't know. I'll look it up for you right now. It might be black and yellow or black and brown or something like that. Let me see. It has black and brown. So I just typed in Hawaii's finest on Instagram, and then that's what their shit looks like right there. Shout out to Hawaii's finest, man. Probably one of the dopest, most inspirational brands. Like if you wanted to see people getting it, they're fucking getting it. And like I said, they're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Limited resources. They don't have access like the rest of us do on the other 48 states, not including Alaska, but like the actual continent. We have access to so much. They're in the middle of the ocean with limited resources and they're killing shit. But they understand how the shit works. You know what I mean? They play to their customers. That's like the best thing you could take away from there is look at their Instagram and understand they know who they're serving. They know exactly who they're selling to. They know who they're making the shit for. And it's working. And it's working. Um, all right, man. So shout out to Hawaii's Finest. Shout out to the homie Rad Vent for even getting me to talk about them and chop it up. But thank you guys for even jumping on, rocking with your boy for 2 hours straight. If you wanted to rewatch this thing, it'll be live on or live on YouTube, so you can rewatch it if you missed anything that we talked about. Like I said, if you wanted to follow Hawaii's Finest, check them out, get inspired, understand that everything that they do is for the people. To me, I think that's one of the dopest things ever. And I do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you for all the kind words. Thank you guys for keeping this conversation rolling. And hopefully next time I'll have the TikTok shop, our TikTok thing figured out so I can live stream on TikTok and on here. So appreciate you guys, man. Peace.